All I can tell y'all is that it's about to go down. Yo, all right.
Welcome to Southeastern, Minnesota's #1 podcast for high school sports. This is Tiger Nation and Beyond with your host, straight out of Stewartville, Adam Peterson.
Hey, what's up, Tiger Nation? Welcome into Tiger Nation and Beyond. This is season number 5, episode number 28, and I couldn't be more excited to bring you the big news. I'm not even going to drag this out throughout the episode. Right now, I got to tell you, our girls basketball team is headed to state, baby. Let's go. First time in school history, and it was complete domination from Tiger Nation. The teams in our section did not even come close to beating the best show on hardwood. That's what I call them. Oh. Between grade state for my 2 girls and having to work more than I would like, it has been some time since I could talk Stewartville sports with you. But I think I have a few minutes here before I need to make some dinner from the family. And then I got to take Brooklyn, I think, to a choir concert. Can't wait to talk about this girls basketball team and the road they're on. Let's run down the journey for our girls team that's led by Coach Ryan Liffrick and how they made it happen. The dream came true. We earned the #1 seed after winning 21 games in a row to end the regular season. I say, who else do you give it to? Give it to the Tigers, baby. We were matched up with the Faribault Falcons in the first round. We overpowered them from the opening tip. Scores in the first half were 12-0 and then 30-2. And we had a halftime lead of 50-10. No player on the court for more than like 18 minutes, I think, this game. Everybody got in on playoff action. 10 girls scored for the Lady Tigers. We ran away with this one. 72-26 was the final score. We shot 52% from the field. We forced 32 Faribault turnovers, 21 of those steals for our Tigers. Won the rebound battle by 11. My favorite team stat, of course, 21 assists for the team. That was led by Haley Strum with 6. Avery Spencer had 4. Savannah Hadeen, the junior, had herself quite a game. She always seems to step up in playoff time. I remember her game against Austin last year. She was incredible. Anyway, she did that in the first round. 21 points for Hadeen, the junior, on 7 of 10 shooting. Perfect 4 of 4 from three-point land. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Haley Strum had 14 points on 6 for 11 from the field. She led the team, like I said, in assists with 6 and also had 5 steals. Audrey Schindler, she was 4 of 6 from the floor for her 9 points, also had 2 steals. Ella Theobald had a pretty solid game all the way around, 7 points. She led the team in rebounding with 7 and blocks with 3, had 2 assists to round out. Just a solid night for Theobald. Only 14 minutes on the court to get all those. Avery Spencer, 6 points for her, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 rebounds. JC Rath, Taylor Clement had 4 points apiece. Rath had 4 boards. And then Keely Steele, she was second on the team with 6 rebounds. That moved the win streak to 22. And then the Tigers would advance to the section semifinal against a familiar foe, the Byron Bears. The Bears were the last team to beat our Stewartville Tigers. Was that in December or something? But we actually just avenged that loss 8 days prior to this particular game. We beat them at their place 81-62 in that game at their place. Regular season finale, I believe it was. Keely Steele and Haley Strum, absolutely dominant. Each scored 19 points, each of them hitting 3 from downtown. They combined on the floor, listen to this, 14 of 22, 6 of 9 from three-point land. How do you stop that? Answer is you don't. You just can't beat those 2 seniors. Dynamic duo, incredible. Ella Theobald decided, you know what? I think I'm going to go play the Bears. And I've just decided I'm not going to miss a shot from the floor. That's the way it goes. Perfect. 7 of 7 from the field. 14.6 boards for the freshman Theobald. We dished out 22 team assists. We had 6 from Strum, 5 from Rath and Steele each. Just a great all-around game. We played awesome. And we hoped to replicate that and move on to the section final for the second year in a row. But you knew the Bears were going to come to our house, try to take us out. This one, like I said, it was in Tiger Nation at home. Great crowd. Great crowd. Girls put their foot on the gas, though. Our girls put their foot on the gas right away, never let up. We jumped out to a 17-1 lead in the first 5 minutes. We led by 23 at the break, 44-21. We would actually stretch that lead to 38 points in the second half. We were up 74-36 with just 7 minutes to go. Coasted the rest of the way. Final score 77-52. Our girls shot 54% from the field, including 11 of 20 from three-point land. We had 4 girls in double figures. We won the rebounding battle by 3. We had 19 team assists, forced 26 26 Byron turnovers on the back of 18 Stewartville steals. And remember, we spell that steal Steeles, not Steals. That's the way we do it in Tiger Nation. Although it would be, I said on the back of 18 steals, how great would that be to have 18 Keeleys on our team? That give us even more depth than we have right now. Anyway, I digress. The kids, as the kids say these days, the freshman trio carried in this game. Incredible. They combined for 47 points, the trio, only 5 shy of what the entire Byron team put up at 52. Audrey Schindler, she led the way. She was 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown for 17 points. Ella Theobald, she was 5 of 8 from the field for 10 points, led the team with 6 rebounds. JC Rath hit 2 of 3 from downtown. She had 10 points. Just great to see her have that confidence to pull the trigger when she was open. I think she hit a couple from the corner. Love to see the lefty, hit it from deep. Haley Strum, our 4th player in double figures, she had 12 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. Savannah Dean, the junior, 9 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 rebounds. Keely Steele, you heard me mention her name, 7 points, led the team with 6. Half dozen, my favorite number, 6 steals, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Avery Spencer, she had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. That would move us into the section final for a rematch of the 2022 Section 1 3A finals against the Austin Packers. Austin coming in with a sensational player in Olivia Walsh. They had a record of 20-8. They are the 2-time defending section champions, so we would have our hands full. The thing that made me feel a little bit better, we did play them earlier in the season and ended up winning 75-50, but everybody knows on any given night, especially at the Civic Center, but on any given night, any team can win. And we know that historically some teams have struggled shooting at the Civic Center, especially in that big arena. We were not one of them, though. Did not struggle at all. It was an incredible game by our girls, just completely dominated from start to finish. We had running clock going against a 20-win team in the section final. We were up 47-22 at the half. It was 68-31 with 8 minutes to go when the seniors started getting pulled off one by one, which was really cool for Coach Lifford to do. Everybody got to, give him an ovation. It was cool to see the coaches and the teammates embrace each of the players that have worked so hard. Those seniors have worked so hard for so many years to get us to this level. And just love to see the appreciation that each one of them got as they came off the court. Almost an identical result from the previous game, save for a Kylie Minnick 3 at the end. That actually made it 78-50. Last time 75-50, this time 78-50. First time in Stewartville history, baby, that the Tigers are headed to state and the girls run their win streak to 24 in a row. We have a dog named Griffey up there. That was his number, 24, just incredible. I said we didn't struggle shooting. You want facts to back that up? I'll give you facts. 70% from 2-point land. Anything inside the arc, we had 70% shooting there. Outside, not much worse. 40% from downtown. You add those two numbers up, 56% shooting overall. It was fabulous. 16 team assists. We forced 19 turnovers that we parlayed into 20 points. 14 steals. Strum led the way with 5. I said she was reading those passes like a book. The pressure that she put on as soon as they came across half court, I know they were getting nervous. And Strum has that just deceptive length on her arms. Gets a lot of tips, a lot of steals. Very unselfish, finding the open player. They were off and running. Audrey Schindler, what a night she had. She hit like 3 straight threes, 7 of 10 from the floor. Finished the game with 17, leading the team for the second straight playoff game. So great to see her stepping up and just what is that called? Tickling the ivory, I think. They call that the net, the ivory. Just swish after swish. Some huge threes in the first half. A little bit sweet, a little bit savory. You know who that is. Avery Spencer had a huge night. The senior went off. 15 points on 5 of 9 and some circus shots that went in. I don't know how she kept her balance. Led the team with 6 rebounds, had 3 assists, 2 steals. I bet Scott was happy with that performance. Haley Strum was, like I said, such a menace on defense. Her ball pressure across half court, I think between that and JC Rath, which we'll talk about in a little bit, huge difference on the defensive end. She turned a few of those 5 steals into layups, finished with 14 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Savannah Dean, she had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Taylor Clement hit both of the threes she took perfect from downtown. She was big time on the boards when we needed her, came up with 3 total, but they were in key moments, let me tell you. Keely Steele finished with 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, but just that defensive pressure and just not allowing them to get in rhythm was huge. Ella Theobald, lightning. That's where the L came in. Lightning fast start for the freshman. Theobald, she had, I think, our first 4 points, I want to say, to get the game started off, but she also had that high post. They were trying to get it in the high post. She was tipping it out, getting us off and running. I feel like Ella Theobald was so instrumental to getting us off to that great start in the beginning of the game. It was incredible. She had presents. 6 points. I couldn't find my spot for how many points she had. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 assist. But like I said, getting us off to that fast start. She was battling down low, keeping that ball alive on rebounds. Awesome to see her. JC Rath, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, but 3 of the biggest blocks that you've ever witnessed. She completely changed the course of the game down low. Defensively, you could just see Austin was a little bit tentative, wanting to go in and take those layups. They were kind of fading away on some shots, but she had some huge blocks, and I just love to see that. The lefty swatted one on our side of the court. I was sitting right behind the girls' bench. She swatted one that was a highlight reel. I wish we could have found that, but I don't believe they let you stream games at the Civic Center. What a terrible rule. Anyway, everybody else. Hannah Martinson played great defense. I think that is when the team is at their best, when each of these players fulfill the role that they need to do for the team to be successful. I've watched almost every game this season, and you can just kind of see, I always say it passes the eye test. You can see the times when we get out of rhythm or we don't look like the team we've come to know. And that happens when one player maybe tries to do too much. It's when we move the ball around, we find the open player, we make smart cuts, we take care of the ball, we make good passes. It honestly is like a symphony out there, and you can, like I say, it passes the eye test. You can just see everything's working, and we saw that, and I turned to Jeremy Hebel, who was sitting next to me, and I said, it's starting to snowball here. It's going to get out of hand pretty quick. And then we saw that big lead at halftime, and then we took it to them in the second half. Our defensive effort, we know that's always seems to take care of itself, but playing that good team basketball on the offensive end is when everything comes together, and I just love to watch it. One of my favorite things after the game was done and the girls came out of the locker room was watching all these girls go up and give their parents hugs, such happiness, such pride from their parents, from the girls. Seeing, I think the parents, especially put myself in their shoes, for the parents to see their kids earn such a special goal, a dream in their athletic career, something that no other team in Stewartville history has done for basketball in terms of going to state. Just really neat to see all those interactions, and, not too cool to go up and give your parents a hug, especially with all that they've probably sacrificed. I've often talked about how to others when we discuss this, this state tournament appearance, this really isn't the culmination of working in 2022, 2023. These girls that are on this team have been working since they were in 3rd or 4th grade in SYBA. All the hours they've spent at practice and SYBA games and traveling to tournaments, the long weekends that you spend, the open gyms, the shooting in the driveway. I'm sure parents and brothers or sisters might have been rebounding for them. All of that, the wins, the losses, trying to learn from the losses, all of the sacrifice that not only the players made, but really the parents, and if you want to be honest, the siblings that get dragged along. We've had girls like Ella and Taylor come back from major injuries to have a huge impact on this season. The dedication that takes, I can appreciate that, being a former athletic trainer, and the months and months that of time and effort and probably a little bit of pain and discomfort that they have to put in to coming back, and we needed them. We need those girls to have the team that we do. And so to see all those sacrifices and the long journey for the players and the families, and to see them achieve the dream was just incredible to witness. And I want to say to all of them, thank you for letting my family be along for such an incredible ride. Ever since having daughters, I'll admit that I've gotten probably a little bit more emotional about things, and seeing JC and Lucas Rath embrace in the stands was something I actually had to turn away from, because I knew I was going to start tearing up. JC is Coach Rat's whole world. You can just see how much she means to him. He supported her so much over the years, worked with her, built a basketball court in the backyard. I'm sure he's rebounded for her. And that special moment between the two of them was just really cool to see. And I think it was out there on social media, because I hope that someday to experience kind of that same feeling for my girls. Not necessarily that they have to make it to state, but just something special where it brings you together and kind of a, hey, thanks, Dad, for, all you've done. And I'm sure JC told Lucas that same thing. You saw Josh Udine, a guy who usually doesn't show too much emotion with sports. He was picking Savannah up, and he was just smiling ear to ear, so happy. We saw Tammy and Kylie together after the game, and all the hours I'm sure that they've spent together with Keely and Haley. And, those two girls, those two senior girls really helped carry this team, this program to new heights. So they've been playing on our varsity team since freshmen, and to see that achieved and how happy they were, that was really cool. Just the experience was something I can't describe. I know for me, I was just on the outside looking in. I can't imagine how great it feels to be the group of girls or the coaching staff, and then the families that are connected to them. It's just got to be just indescribable. I don't know who organized the get-together at the Legion after the section final, but thank you for doing that, and thanks for the invitation. It was an incredible time. The girls walked in, just a huge ovation from everybody there. It was a packed house. There were a lot of people that showed up. Our family was so happy that we were able to go and got to experience that firsthand and kind of see the smiles on everybody's faces. Everybody really excited. It was just a lot of positive energy, and that's always great to be around. Our family went to support the girls, but in turn, I was actually given a little bit of a gift that evening. So many people that came up to me offered support, appreciation for either the videos or the podcast or whatever, the highlight things that I try to put together. I got to talk to Lucas Rath for a while. I know Jason Steele and I had a conversation. I obviously talked to the Schindelars, good friends of ours. Kylie was there. Frank the Tank, got to talk to my guy Frank the Tank. He was fired up, obviously. And then great conversation with Amy and Bernie Theobald. All that they've done, with S5.28 and giving our girls the opportunity and building this, with the help of their board, but building this foundation and this program and helping kind of feeder it into the high school, and really kind of coming down to when I was talking to the Theobalds, I just can't thank them enough for the kind words and the support they offered to me, the stories I got to hear, something I'm very, very grateful for. And big thanks to Bernie for hooking me up, man. I got the gear, got the shirt. I feel it's awesome, but all the people that came up and shared their stories, or maybe that they watch or listen to the podcasts or like the videos or whatever it is, it just it kind of reminded me that sometimes the extra hours, the extra effort I try my best to put into covering the sports teams that we have is worth it and is appreciated by several out there in Tiger Nation. So thank you so much to all those people that came up. I love talking to y'all. I love meeting you and hearing the stories. Nothing better. The conversations were just so great, and I do appreciate you going out of your way to come over and chat with me. That kind of reminds me of I think I've said this before in a podcast, but when you put that effort out there to try to cover this girls basketball team and really try to promote them and, do the starting introductions and everything, and you try to put that all in there, to have it come back, it reminded me of a quote from Derek Jeter's series called The Captain on ESPN. I don't know if you guys watched it. If you didn't, you should. It's a fantastic documentary. But one of my favorite sayings that he said is, loyalty one way is stupidity. And this group of girls basketball players and their families have probably given me more than I've given them this season and over the years. The texts, the messages, the conversations. It's been such a good two-way street with this team, and I was just so happy for not only the families, but especially this group of girls to win the section championship. If you're listening out there, girls, we are just all so proud of you. It's been awesome. Getting onto the state tournament, that's going to go down this week, Wednesday. Our Steuarville Tigers got the 4 seed. We'll play the 5 seed Grand Rapids Wednesday at noon at Maturi Pavilion on the U of M campus. I feel like we've had a rough time this year with state placements. Obviously, big football fan. We went to state there. Well, in football, they don't seed, and somehow we drew the defending section or state champion Hutchinson. So it was essentially number 1 versus number 2 in the state in the quarterfinal. I've heard from some that they do it this way because they say, there's no way to determine, which seeds people should have because everybody plays different schedules and different opponents. Well, How many sections get based off of the QRF rankings to determine that seeding? Well, our football squad got a tough draw. Now we go to basketball, and somehow the seeding committee goes lock, stock, and barrel all on QRF rankings when they could have used that in football. They didn't. They do it for basketball, and that means that put us at the 4 seed, even though we've played the 3 seed Alexandria head-to-head and beat them. So I just don't understand if there's a more accurate comparison of like who should get these seeds than a head-to-head matchup. We have the better record. We've won more games in a row. They could try to argue that it was early in the season, the 2 teams played, and now they're different teams now. Yeah, you're gosh darn right they're different teams. We've won 24 games in a row playing our best basketball. Meanwhile, Alexandria lost last month by 24 to Orono, a team that finished 14-13. So between football and basketball, I think there could be some improvement that could be made when talking about seeding and making sure that maybe the 2 and 4 best teams meet up at the end and not early on. But I digress. Because oftentimes on this podcast, we talk about control what you can control. And the seeding is not something we can control. It's done. The brackets are out. We were given the 4 seed. Nothing's going to change that. When you look at this tournament, for us to bring home the title, and I think our girls are talented enough, when you look at the road to that goal, if you will, or that dream, chances are we're going to have to go through number 1 seed Becker, number 2 seed Benil St. Margaret's at some point, regardless of if we're the 3 or 4 seed. So that's just the way it goes. Going to have to play them, whether it's semifinals, quarterfinals. We got to get by Grand Rapids first. But if our girls play together like they've done such a great job this year, play team defense, looking for each other on offense, taking care of the ball, working together, and if our shots fall, especially like they did against Austin, I truly, truly believe in my heart that we can beat anybody in Class 3A. I really do that. And so I am so excited for this team and for Coach Liffrig and his staff and see what kind of run we can make coming up this week. Moving on. To say things are going well in our basketball program in its entirety probably would be the understatement of the century. I believe, I didn't do the math, but off the top of my head, I believe if you combine the last 46 total boys and girls basketball games, 46 of them, Storville's won 45! Are you kidding? 45-1 over the last 46 games? That's just incredible. If Professor Razzle was here, you'd say, can you even fathom that? Just amazing. Now our boys team, just on the heels of the girls team, now we're 1 win away from state for the boys too. They're going to be playing Winona Windhawks Friday, March 17th at the Civic Center, 7 p.m. We haven't played Winona this year, but they are 10-2 against the teams in our section in terms of Winona is. Coming off a thrilling last-second 30-foot shot to beat Austin in overtime. Winona coming in 15-13 overall, but again, it's kind of deceiving. They do play in a challenging Big 9 conference. Like I said, 10-2 against the teams in our section, so don't let that 15-13 record fool you. Stewartville boys are going to be coming in riding an 11-game win streak, record of 24-4, the number 1 scoring defense in the entire state for Class 3A at 52.5 points allowed per game. That's what Coach Liga preached all season. He said it in our preview video. What was that? Like episode 20. Don't quote me on that. Like 23, 21, something like that. But Coach Liga said his defense, that's what's going to win him games. Number 1 scoring defense, just like our football team. Incredible. I love Coach Liga's style on defense too, how he's able to switch up. He goes from man to man, he goes to a zone, he runs a press. I mean, his ability to throw all sorts of stuff at opposing offenses, I really believe keeps other teams out of rhythm. Let's talk about how the boys made it to the section final game. We also earned the 1 seed for the boys in section 1. We would take on Faribault out of the gate Tuesday, March 7th. Faribault game was in Tiger Nation. Falcons in a down year. They only had 1 win on the season. Stewartville came out strong in the first and put this one away early. We were up 39 at halftime. Everybody got some action on the court. I believe 11 guys scored on this particular night. Final from this one, 69-29 Stewartville. Henry Cheddar led the way, 16 points, 3 rebounds. Parker Wangen had 8.7 rebounds. Brady Pickett, the senior, 9 points, 3 rebounds. The sniper, Jason Schindler, had 8 points, 5 rebounds. I think he hit 2 from downtown. Caleb Bancroft had 8 points, 4 rebounds. Max Barnes, 8 points, 2 rebounds. Aiden Helder does a little bit of everything for us, 6 points, 4 rebounds. Tegan Malone had 6 rebounds. Ian Hoot, 2 points, 3 boards. Caleb Jansen, 2 points, 2 rebounds. And Logan Quam had 2 points. So you could see 11 guys scoring. I mean, how many are there that are between between Cheddar and Barnes, 2, 4, 6 guys between 8 and 16 points. So nice even distribution there. That would move us into the section semifinal against a dangerous Byron Bear team that was coming off an opening round 48-point win against the Albert Lee Tigers. We knew this was going to be a much tougher matchup than the first 2 times we played these guys, the Bears, because the Bears were missing some players during the season, and this was like the first time that they're fully healthy and that we would be matching up. It was close almost the entire way. Stewartville would get ahead, and then Byron would kind of claw back at halftime. Low-scoring game, 20-17 in favor of the Tigers. But then in the second half, the Tigers were starting to extend their lead. I believe we were up 8 with about a minute or so left, and then Byron hit a 3. They got the inbounds pass. I think they got a steal or something. Got a quick 2, called a timeout. So it was like Tigers were up 40-37 with maybe 17 seconds left. Wangan and Cheddar, though, would hit some clutch free throws down the end, extend that lead, and the Tigers would win 42-37 on our home court. We defended the jungle. It was awesome. 5-point win. That moves Stewartville onto that section final against Winona. Low scoring game for both teams. Shots just weren't falling. Byron was trying to slow the game down a little bit, but it comes back to that Coach Liga defense that made the difference. Holding Byron, a team that I think they dropped like 84 in the opening round, 37 points. 37 points, 17 in the first half, 20 in the second half. Defense wins championships, at least that's what they tell me. Coach Muller doesn't always agree with that, but Coach Haynewood from the football team, defense wins championships, and we'll see. We'll see if that's the case later this week as Friday night we get to play for a shot to go to state. Tigers forced 18 turnovers, 11 in the second half to build that cushion that we needed. Henry Cheddar led the way again, 13 points, 3 rebounds. Tegan Malone had 10 points, 4 rebounds. He hit like 3 threes, I believe, on the night. Brady Pickett, he had 6 points. I think he hit a huge 3, and then he had an and one. He got fouled hard on the one side. I think he got up a little bit, flexing, but it was kind of an energy building moment for the crowd, for the team. So great to see that. Jason Schindler ended his night with 5 rebounds. Caleb Jansen, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Aiden Helder, 2 points, 4 rebounds. Made some beautiful passes inside to help us to get some easy scoring opportunities. Love how he has such good court vision. Caleb Bancroft, 1.4 points, or 1.4 rebounds. And then Parker Wong, I got to talk to you about this guy. 6 points, 2 rebounds, but he had the most electrifying dunk, alley-oop. I probably should buy Henry Cheddar, so maybe like a snack or Gatorade or something for putting that thing on a tee. And then a great back screen from Aiden Helder, and Wangan just threw it down. Probably one of the best dunks of the entire season. The kid is just a star. I think he's incredible, and it's hard to remember he's just a sophomore. We still have 2 more years of that. But that's going to move Stewartville into the section final Friday night, 7 p.m. Civic Center. That's what I wrote down. Hopefully it is that time. Double check. We will see if Tiger Nation can make it 2 for 2 going to state in basketball. That would be sensational. No teams go to 2 in a row. That would be awesome. So best of luck to the boys team. Last thing I wanted to talk about. I don't know in this podcast if there's ever a good moment to talk about this, but I don't think I would be doing Tiger Nation, especially this individual, justice if I didn't talk about it, because of the impact that this individual had on our community, in our school, and as a consistent presence for our athletic department. For 60 plus years, we have gotten to look over at the scorer's table and see the same guy running our scoreboard. Anybody who's been to a Stewartville football game or basketball game has likely seen Gordy, especially at those basketball games, in that white chair that he has for himself, sitting there at the scorer's table doing what he does best. You know, Crystal has sat next to him over the past, I think, 6 years she's been doing the book, and I've gotten to sit next to him when I get to do the announcing, which I've done over the past few years, ever since Drew Simmons was in high school. So that's probably 5 or 6 years. Here and there I get the call. Get to sit next to him. But whether or not we were working or not working, we always try to make an effort to go over and say hi to Gordy and see how he's doing, because he and Amy, just such kind people and so great to talk to and so amazing just to be around. They always treated our family with such respect and such kindness. We shared so many laughs with them, either in the gymnasium, or I know even back in the day when there was the ground round, we would run into them at after games with the temperature drinks or whatever that was going on. Gordy always would tell me, he'd always walk up to me and tell me how lucky I was to have Crystal. He was such a big fan of her, and she was the same of him. She just loved Gordy. We all did. And we are so fortunate that we were able to call Gordy and Amy friends. Unfortunately, just 2 days before the section championship game with the girls, we got the news Wednesday night. Our family got the news Wednesday night that Gordy had passed away. Our hearts just absolutely broke hearing the news. We had just seen Gordy doing great at the Byron-Stewartville girls game, that semifinal game, and then just like that, he was gone. And, you talk about the consistency and the commitment that he had for Stewartville sports, showing up for whatever it was, like 60, 62 years or something like that. I don't think that will ever happen again. It just takes a really, really incredible person and to do that. And he supported the teams, and I thought he did such a great job. For 60 years, I've sat next to him, especially with the new scoring edition that we have on both sides of the basketball scoreboard now. There's a lot going on working with that job, and he was like a master on a piano, just moving those fingers at a rapid pace. And I'm just so sad and that I won't get to, walk up to him and hear him say, "Hey, you got yourself a good one there. Treat her right," with the biggest smile. And I'm sad that I won't get back. You won't get to, walk back to the scorers table after doing my starting lineups out on the court and Gordy turning to me and saying, "Hey, I bet you need a drink of water," with a smirk on his face. He took such good care of his wife. He was proud of his family. He gives us, I think all of us, a pretty good role model to aspire to be someday as a spouse, as a dad, and just as a member of the community. Just a major, major individual on that Mount Rushmore here in Stewartville. It really made me sad that he's been around Stewartville basketball for 60 plus years and supporting the teams and doing whatever he could. And he never got to witness a team make it to state because just 48 hours before, he was gone 48 hours before our girls made that dream a reality. And, I just wish he could have saw it. But then, as the game approached, all I could think is there is no way Gordy's missing this game. There's no way that Gordy isn't going to be the sixth man on that court helping those girls out on Friday night and see this thing through to the end. For so many years, Gordy has had the best seat in the house courtside. But now I feel like he's upgraded to an even better seat, and he has definitely earned it. From my family, and I bet a lot in Tiger Nation, if you're listening up there, we want to say thank you, Gordy, for all you've done for so many of us in Tiger Nation. Tiger Nation loves you and will miss you more than you'll ever know. I think that's going to do it here. Episode number 28 in season number 5 is in the books. Until next time, remember that you're never wrong to do the right thing. And if you're listening, Gordy, please watch over Tiger Nation for us. Take care, everybody.